I'm Molly Suberthorpe. Welcome to my channel, where I offer bite-sized tutorials and demonstrations in calligraphy and hand lettering, and upload a brand new video every Friday. Today's video is a combination of a few things. First, I'll continue my new Practice With Me series, where I'll use one of my free flourishing practice sheets to create a calligraphed layout design. Then I'll draw a flourished decorative border to complete the artwork, using illustrations that go with the subject matter of the text. And finally, I'll recolor the piece to show you some fun techniques in Procreate for quickly coloring your artwork. The design I'm calligraphing today is from my Neither Snow Flourishing practice sheet, which is available for free to my subscribers in both printable and Procreate formats. Just follow the link in the description to download it so you can follow along with me, whether that's pen on paper or using your Apple Pencil and the iPad Pro. So to start here, I've opened my practice sheet in Procreate, the one that comes in the free download pack. You'll find that this is a layered file that contains a lettering grid, a light gray version of the artwork, and a Draw Here layer, which is blank so that you can use it to trace the calligraphy. I'll be using a brush from my Calligraphy Nibs Procreate brush pack, which I've also linked below. However, my free toolkit also includes a free Procreate calligraphy brush. I call it Molly's favorite flourishing brush because it's precisely that. So to get that brush completely for free, you just also need to follow the same link below that leads to my free lettering toolkit. So to get started, I'm selecting black from my palette. I'm choosing my own calligraphy brush and I'm making sure that I'm on that Draw Here layer. And then I'll get started tracing the calligraphy. Whether you're a beginner calligrapher or advanced, I think that everyone can get something out of occasionally tracing letters. For one, it builds up crucial muscle memory, keeping your arm nimble and reinforcing those small movements required to make letter forms. Second, it's great practice for pressure. My Procreate brushes are really pressure sensitive. I worked really hard to make them as close to the pressure sensitivity of real pointed calligraphy pens. So getting these thick downstrokes and thin upstrokes is a huge part of calligraphy practice, whether you're doing it on the iPad or on paper. So making these strokes uniform comes with time spent practicing, and tracing can really help with that. A third way that tracing can be a wonderful exercise is that it's meditative. The work of thinking about what to draw next has been taken out of the equation. So a little bit like a coloring book, it's a great way to tune out the noise of the world and just relax. Whether you follow along with me here or you just sit back and watch, whether you're using an iPad or a dip pen and ink, I hope that watching me work gives you insight into stroke direction, speed, pressure, flourishing, and my overall workflow. One of the ways I want to increase the formality of this calligraphy style is to straighten or sharpen the ends of my downstrokes. You can see that after each line, I'm going back in with my eraser tool and cutting off the curved end of each straight downstroke. Most of these are along the baseline, but some, like the top of a T, are not. If you're curious what this text actually means and why it ends with #SaveUSPS, I'll give you a little background. This is the unofficial motto of the United States Postal Service. Over the past year, the USPS has struggled financially to stay afloat, and it's been forced to make some really unprecedented cutbacks. As such, lots of us have really wanted to show our support for the mail service and find ways to help it get back on its feet. To draw our border, I'm going to utilize Procreate's symmetry guides. I have a lot of videos using these guides in different ways, like creating radial mandalas and mirrored flourishing. I'll link those below, but today I want to make a border that's symmetrical on all four sides, meaning that the top and bottom are mirror images of each other, and the left and right sides are mirror images as well. I'll do this by going into Settings, which is the wrench icon, and turning on Drawing Guide. Immediately click Edit Drawing Guide and select the Symmetry tab. Then click on Options and turn on Quadrant Symmetry. Make sure that Assisted Drawing is turned on as well, because that's the only way that the art you create on a layer will actually adhere to this guide. Don't turn on Rotational Symmetry for this particular type of drawing. It affects the mirroring in a way that we don't want today. When you click Done, you should see that the layer you're on now has the word Assisted under it, which, as I say, means that the art you create on this layer will adhere to the guide. Now, like magic, when you draw, your work will be mirrored 4 times, top to bottom and side to side. For illustrated work like this, and even for complex calligraphy layouts, I usually start with a pencil brush just to sketch it out, and then I'll go in later on a new layer and trace over that, refine it, and get it looking exactly as I like. Now I select a contrasting color and I drag it in to fill various enclosed spaces throughout the design. I'll show you how I further adjust this color palette afterward. Now here's a fun way to adjust the colors of a layer. I'm going to the Adjustments menu and clicking Gradient Map. Here I can click on any of the pre-made color gradients that come in Procreate, or I can tap one to customize it and make it my own. I am playing with a lot of colors here today, as you can see, because I find this so fun. When I find a palette that I like, I apply it to the calligraphy as well. So tap and hold the selection circle and sample the darker of your colors. Make a new blank layer over your calligraphy layer. Tap it once and turn on Clipping Mask, then tap it again and select Fill Layer. Now the color in your new layer is only applied to the content of your calligraphy layer. Next, sample the lighter color and repeat this process, just making a new layer and clipping it into the calligraphy layer. But instead of filling it now with the lighter color, we'll only paint it in accents. Today, I'll just paint in this very last line here. As a finishing touch, I will change the background to something a little bit nicer than stark white. I'm going for a violet color that is just barely reminiscent of the purples in the rest of the design. And now I think it's all pulled together into a comprehensive layout. And there you have it, a beautifully flourished calligraphed layout design and a matching illustrative border. I hope that you've gotten a lot out of this, and I hope that you download my freebies so that you can practice the same thing at home on your own. As always, tag me in your work on Instagram because I always love to see what my followers and subscribers create, whether it's from my video tutorials, my books, or my free downloads. See you next week!